And welcome to Salesforce Spotlight. Today we're talking about turning integration into a strategic edge, not in theory, but in the middle of a market that gets more dynamic every quarter. I'm Stephan Lendi.
And I'm Vanessa Gentile. And with me today is Benjamin from COTRA. Hi, Benjamin. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Benjamin, can you introduce yourself and also COTRA, by the way?
Yeah, I'm Benjamin Renold. I'm head of business IT at COTRA. COTRA is an automotive logistics company. For 6 years now, we celebrated our 6th-year anniversary this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And yeah, so we started digitalizing more and more the last 5-6 years, which actually also enabled me to take over this business IT position. And actually we're striving to improve automation, improve customer quality, API technology, and so on. So currently that's a big, huge step for us. Next to transporting vehicles, repairing rims, and everything around the car except for selling cars.
Now, the market is getting more and more dynamic, more and more volatile every quarter. That's what I said in introduction as well. Why did you choose MuleSoft to absorb that change without actually increasing headcount?
Well, we used to outsource a lot of development, so we already had a lot of IT systems before, but with different customer needs, which were showing up more regularly. So it used to be like once a year, and then suddenly it was like once a week, changes and wishes and whatever. And outsourcing that work was time consuming, and we weren't as fast in changing anything for our clients. So we decided to insource everything and look for a good solution, how we can build those APIs and all of that ourselves without having to build up a huge IT team. So we actually got to MuleSoft as a low-code solution, which we could step in really quickly.
So it was literally about getting faster to deliver higher quality to your customers.
Exactly, to be able to react to changes, to new demands and whatever, and also just to improve quality in some cases.
Yeah, and the services, right? Exactly. You could provide much better service to compare to before, right, with this integration.
Definitely.
And you went from kickoff in early 2023, right, and live by September 2023 with several interfaces. What decisions let you move that fast? Templates, standards, or scoping, disciplines? What was that?
Well, we had a system, a new system. We got a new system for one of our branches, so logistics. And yeah, our go live deadline was September. And at the beginning of that project of implementing this new system, we realized we need a better integration. So, which actually led us to look for a solution, get MuleSoft, and yeah, beginning January, February 2023, we actually was the first time we got access to the platform, and we had to develop everything for that system, every API, client API, and so on, to cover it all by the go live deadline in September.
And then what's happened is you've linked 4 automotive subsectors through MuleSoft and Salesforce. What are those 4 sectors, and how specifically did you end up linking these?
Well, we transport vehicles. That's actually our main, our largest department. It's national transports from dealership to dealership, but also from import locations to dealerships and so on. We also offer home delivery, so we actually transport cars to private people in front of their doorsteps. And a lot more around transport.
So what are the must-have data flows in this setup?
Well, a transport order, you need the vehicle data, you need a sender recipient, and in the meantime we have a lot of extra demands, like a checklist, what's the mileage of a vehicle, how many keys are it, and so on. So we also built a whole checklist, and that information also has to be passed back to the clients after we record it and so on. So we have API flows for that. And this is a totally different order object or data actually, like the other branches which we have, which is logistics, different services we provide on vehicles, like washing, photography, photo studios, but also repair in the body shop. That's the third department. And all of them are surrounding the car, but actually have a different data model. What we try to do is to figure out one set of fields which could fit every different aspect. And so that's how we're like starting to move away from our silos into one unified data view.
I love how you're breaking down silos. What had to be in place from day one onwards, and what can wait until phase 2 of your project?
That's a difficult question because we redid a lot of it again and again because we had first idea that didn't work, so we had to rebuild everything.
Well, it's trial and error. You have to test certain things.
Exactly. Right? Now, in hindsight, I wouldn't know what would have been the best way, because I think we had to do this learning now the last few years. But in a way, just actually taking the vehicle as it is, as the main objective, and then adding the different services to it would have been like the best, easiest way.
The best way forward, Vanessa, right?
So how do you structure then the systems and the processes? So one example, so to make that happen, right? Because you say you have different services, but one database. So how you manage that?
What we try to do is actually take a more operations view of everything, and then apply the IT to it. So we actually didn't set up a standard data model, which you would otherwise set up. We actually took operations and we applied the IT to operations to really custom fit our solution.
So the other way around.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And is this something that you say, hey, this is a best practice for us, this works, or is it case by case?
I think for our current situation, it's the best approach. We also have the whole change management behind in the operations and other departments. So it's actually the easiest transition to apply it to what we do, so that also my colleagues actually understand what's going on. It's more a hands-on work, maybe a bit more inefficient on IT side, but I think in general for the company it's the best approach.
It's the best.
Yeah.
I do want to touch on quality and security. Which guardrails did you say have to be in place before anything goes into production?
We actually have everything in a closed domain, and we keep MuleSoft as the only possible way to enter or get data. We also chose different levels of security or different security steps. Identification, the whole security baseline for MuleSoft to access, but also within the systems we have different validations. If it's the client, does that client in this specific combination have access to which data, and so on, to actually not leak anything.
And you said from 6 months, you used to do that for 6 months, right? So now from 6 months to days, right?
Yeah.
So how is it possible?
Well, we used to outsource everything.
Yeah.
So we actually had to figure out what does the client want or what's necessary right now. We had to write the whole project scope to it, give it to the developer. The developer had to, usually also had a project manager, so the project manager had to understand it. From there, the developer had to do something, the whole testing and so on. With MuleSoft, we could actually build such a dynamic version that we can just start testing while actually also developing. And yeah, so we cut out a few middlemen, we cut out a few steps which we need, added some necessary documentation on top of it, but otherwise we gained that flexibility. We also built, and that's like the MuleSoft kind of way, is the reusable flows. And so we try to apply that concept, which keeps us really efficient now. We just develop one thing once, and then we can profit from those different endpoints and different flows to actually provide new possibilities. So.
Is that what you recommend to a customer that is listening to us now? And I mean, and you probably are the future for these customers trying to do the same. So is that the approach you would recommend to a customers exploring today the opportunity or the possibility to do that?
Definitely. So reusable flows, definitely a must-have actually.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit more specific on what they want to do. I talk with other MuleSoft users or MuleSoft customers, and they have different use cases, which we haven't touched yet. So we're still in mid-development phase, so we haven't finished everything. But in a way, if the use case is to be more for operations, for process automation, I think that's the best way to go.
All right, thank you.
If we look at your team, what skills were in place when you started the project? Which skills were needed? How did you get everyone on board?
Well, it was rather easy in our case. When we started, I was the only one who could develop, so it was a one-man show. What I had to do is learn developing with MuleSoft, so they have this data weave language, and so I didn't know about it at all. So I spent a lot of time just to get to know how to code or how to use MuleSoft and build APIs.
How easy, how hard was that? You said, you know, I was this one-man show. There was no one on the inside that could help and support you. That must have been tough.
Yeah, it was many hours, let's say it like that. I did have support from MuleSoft themselves, so they had a consultant and an architect which helped me and tried to tell me what are the best practices. They also helped develop.
So you were not alone on the inside,
alone,
but you had, MuleSoft
exactly.
had your back during that phase.
Exactly, yeah. So that was a great help. I don't think I would have managed without them. But in a way, I knew what I wanted. I knew how data arrived and where it had to go in what form. Now the trick was, how can I build that with MuleSoft in between? And it was a lot of trial and error, but otherwise it's not that big of a challenge in a way. It's easy to do.
But that's great, right? So, I mean, thanks to MuleSoft team, by the way, but it's possible, right? It's possible
Definitely.
to reskill on demand with, because it's new, right? For you it was new, for the company it was new, with the outside support to do it by yourself.
Definitely.
And then you had to onboard the rest of the team. How did that go?
Well, actually, it went rather well. So I have this one developer, super smart. He caught on really quickly. I think it took him a week, maybe two, and he learned everything and how it works. So that was really quick. Head of projects she didn't really develop, but just through explaining what we're doing, she understood the whole concept of everything and how to use it. So even now I can talk to her and she still knows how exactly in the way the whole thing works and what we built in the background. So proud of them that they learned it. So we were a team of 3. Right now we're only 2, but somehow we can still cope with everything. So
great. Yeah, I think when you really enjoy and you understand, and it's getting much more productive in general, right? And then you have in between you have fun because you really see the result of those technology being in the right hands.
Definitely. So for me, I'm not developing that much anymore, but every time I do work on hands-on, it's a joy actually to really see something from nothing and suddenly you see data somewhere else, or you can open Salesforce and you see the images and the files and all of it is accessible with few little clicks and speed which no other system had, and so on. So that's cool.
It's like having a lot of recipes and then you bake your own cake and you see that's the result of it.
Well, you get the inspiration and you tailor it to your specific needs and to the needs of your clients. And that's what it is ultimately about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
And talking about monitoring and support, so how do you keep integration healthy at scale?
That's still kind of work in progress. What we do measure is the data throughput and how much flows are running, to also kind of check, is it too much or is it too little? We've got a lot of schedulers, so in intervals of a few seconds, few minutes, and so on. And we kind of measure how much is necessary to just adjust that. All other KPIs are actually still work in progress. At some point, we do want to actually measure some operations as well, which then are passed through MuleSoft, and use MuleSoft to actually calculate how much data does the different system, different department, client, whatever need, and from there on we can optimize.
Now, Vanessa was really impressed by change requests that used to take 6 months, now taking only days. What exactly is it that made these change requests so much faster?
I think just the loss of time you have alone describing what you want to a developer, so the insourcing part, saves us so much time.
So less coordination, less communication,
exactly,
less glitches and less risk that you're taking.
Exactly. So in a way, if someone else develops something for you, you see the product, but you don't see each and every different rule which was placed in that flow or whatever. And right now, if we build it ourselves, we see everything. We also can debug. We can see where do we have some problems, and yeah, we can fix it also really quickly.
So you see the underlying issues that are also there and can work on those instead of just fixing the final product or sending in a request.
Exactly. It's like ordering something and then you notice, okay, it's not correct, so you have to send it back, and then you get something new and you have to wait in between until you get the new product and whatever. In our case, we can just do it ourselves, and it's easy with MuleSoft just to change something.
And now, what's next? For COTRA and MuleSoft.
What we did is we connected our internal systems, so the different sub-branches which we have, into one data flow or Salesforce in a way. We're moving everything to Salesforce to have one system. The next step is going to be to roll out Salesforce as an application for my colleagues. So currently we're not working with Salesforce. It's a back-end system right now. We're hoping next year, during next year, to roll out Salesforce company-wide, that we can actually have the whole client service processes and so on Salesforce.
What opportunities do you see when that is going to happen, and how do you explain these to your staff members?
We've been telling them about opportunities for the past year, so a lot of them are already eager to work with Salesforce. And yeah, we see thousands of possibilities. It's hard to now list them all up, but main points, just the time consumption between mails, order data, communication with clients. Currently we're using our ERP system, Outlook, and so many different systems. In the future you'll have everything in one. You can look at everything, you can access everything without having to use other systems and so on. Also for management, it's a lot easier to keep track of what we're doing, for whom are we doing what, and so on, and actually improve on quality like that.
That sounds like a great promise and like some great opportunities that you and the team have identified. I understand the excitement that they have, and that I think is the right attitude to move ahead, if that positivity is there from the very beginning.
Definitely.
And that will be very exciting to see also Salesforce as a whole, right? Integration with MuleSoft, then you have everything, and you can even more, serve and provide and also save time, be more productive, and have fun by connecting your system with your customers.
Definitely. I'm looking forward for that step. It's still a long road until then, but I'm really looking forward to have this one unified view. So we're getting rid of those silos. So it's having this one unified view, and also the second step after that, as soon as all of my colleagues are onboarded on Salesforce, would be actually to onboard our clients, that they can use Salesforce or other solutions as our client portal and also access everything. Currently, it's like accessing multiple different companies. They have to contact this person or contact the other person. In the future, it's just one accessing point, and we provide all services through one gateway.
I love it because I see the excitement in your eyes, and you've got everything mapped out step by step, and your staff, your team members, everyone's on board as you're breaking down these silos and moving ahead into the future together. Thank you so much, Benjamin Renold. Thank you for your insights, and please let the team know we're keeping our fingers crossed, and we're excited to hear how the project is going.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for being our guest, and all the best.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben, and thank you to all of you for watching. This has been Salesforce Spotlight. I'm Stephan Lendi.
And I am Vanessa Gentile.
Thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.